So, do you know how sometimes you're on the internet or YouTube and you're searching for something and you're like, there's no way I'm going to find that? Well, this is one of those videos I feel like I've never seen somebody do a walkthrough of the underneath of their camper. So, we're actually going to do that. Behind me is a 2023 Blackseries HQ19. We're going to slide underneath. I'm going to identify the things that I can. I'm going to talk about the things that I don't know what they are. You guys feel free to make a comment down in the comment section if you know something that I've misnamed, or you know better what something is, or you want to, I don't know, just discuss something. You're welcome to put that in the comment section. But I'm going to highlight the things that I do know, and if I don't know something, I'm going to say I don't know. I'm not an RV technician. I just picked this up myself, so it's going to take me a while to kind of get through it and kind of identify everything. There's not a manual on Blackseries, so I'm hoping that this is able to help somebody out there. So let's get on with it. All right, as we enter from the back here, you guys can see that this is the black water drain right here. And this is added in the US, right? Because I think overseas they actually have just composting toilets, so, or some other kind of situation like that. So I think this here is added just for the US market. And you can see it's got this wrap around it. And that leads to the black water tank, which is this guy right here, a pretty big tank, I'd say. And whatever material it's made out of, you can see it does rust. So that's something that you can get underneath here and try to paint if you want to avoid that. But it's got some material, some diamond plating material here on it that's covering it as well. So pretty well protected, I think. And it's fairly thick, or thick enough anyways. I don't know how much exactly that is, but we can see if we can see that, probably not. But that's what this is. That's your black water tank. And if we come here to the passenger side, you can see this is where it comes down from the toilet. So if you still have the regular toilet on here, this is the black water drain. So that comes in from the inside and comes down and goes into the black water. All right. All right, over here is your jack system right there. And you would just pull that, and that lowers this guy right here onto the ground. And again, that black water drain right here for your toilet, just to get you guys oriented. And over here is whatever you want to call these guards, brush guards, rock rails. That was in quotes in case you didn't hear my inflection there. That's just attached to this piece of metal right here. So it is capable of ripping. I don't know that it's not like directly attached to the frame itself where you would think that, no, this is not going anywhere. So that is that. Over here is some conduit of some sort with some wiring in there, I bet. See, yep. You can see that's some wiring to, the way I would guess, I think this is going out to the lights. As you can see it go right up there, and we're looking at the rear. That's the tire carrier right there. So that's the rear that's heading towards the rear of the vehicle right there. And in here, a little bit more wiring, some supports here for the tank. It's supported pretty well, if I do say so myself. Some markings here for the rear shocks to make sure that they're not moving. So I'm guessing this is aligned with that, or is supposed to be aligned with that. So either the line was never made straight, or it's moved a very tiny little bit, like a quarter, or no, less than that, like 2/16 or something crazy like that. Just a very, very little bit of movement there. Let's see. This here is just the breathing tube for the tank. All right. And we'll keep on going. Right now we are on the passenger side. Flip this around so you guys can see the limiting straps in there That's this guy right here. So this is what holds your shocks so they don't overextend. All right. There's some of those beefy shocks that you see in there with also a bump stop in there. It feels like just a steel bump stop. So that would make contact with this piece down here. And that's what stops that from going too far down. And over here is another tank. This one here would be, I don't know, hot water tank, I believe, or your actual drinking water tank. Gonna continue going in here. You see on the other side, same limiting strap right there. Okay, the shocks and shock number for you guys that may be looking for that. That says QS30-520 and yeah, TF2021.03.04, so some kind of date of some sort underneath there. And then there's some degrees on there. 002 degrees 1000 N is in November. I'm not sure what that is. Some more markings there for your bolts. Those ones haven't moved at all. And over here you can see your wheel with your brake system right there. All right, it's not disc brakes, so obviously looks like some kind of drum brake system back here. And we're gonna keep going. Some more markings in here to make sure that this hasn't turned. But the irony is, what is it marking against? Like, is it when it's horizontal or vertical? Horizontal to the ground, you know it hasn't turned, I guess, perhaps, that's the thinking. But usually this line would continue onto some kind of a point, so you know that it's broken its plane, right? But not sure what that is. Zerk fitting over here so you can grease these. Same thing with that on the other side. Some more shocks, limiting straps, some electrical stuff over there. And these look like gas lines right there, little T-junction spot. This here is some kind of foam insulation of some sort, and it's hiding a pipe. Water pipe of some sort, perhaps, or drain pipe. What else do we have? That blue right there is probably a water line going up to the sink, I believe. That's coming all the way from that little water tank that we talked about, and kind of winds around in here and then goes up into what I believe is, well, that's interesting actually. That actually goes into this tank. So this likely goes into the sink inside as well. This here is your general water tank right here, I believe. And you guys can correct me in the videos as well if you see this and you know exactly what it is. This here is a filter, I'm believing, for the diesel intake, for the diesel heater, perhaps. That's what that looks like to me. And this here is the diesel exhaust. There's our connections right here for these rails once again. And you can see that I can move this by hand, right? So it's one of those things, maybe good enough to stand on, but honestly, if you were to bash this with the weight of the trailer, this would bend right away, right? You can see how it's connected to this, and you can see how it moves just as I am moving it laying down on a bench. So I can't imagine how strong that is. Maybe a little sacrificial skid for very light touches, but FYI for you guys who think this is structural or tied into the frame or anything like that, it does not appear to be like that. And then we're heading towards the front. So this is a gas line, comes all the way from the front. One diverts and goes that way. This junction comes out here, leads to a shutoff over here, and right here to this fitting, where I believe you would be able to connect your gas line. Okay. You guys can correct me in the description here. The idea for this, honestly, is for us to all discover it at the same time. So I'm not trying to name off things that I don't know. I just got this and I'm gonna take some time trying to figure everything out. So this is more to just show you what it looks like underneath and let you figure out what you figure out. All right. And I've got the spot here also in the very back where it looks like something once lived. I'm not sure what that something was. You can look on the other side right there. You also have the same holes, that one and the one that's hidden by the tank. So something used to attach to that. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe just for shipping or something like that, but that is a connection of some sort. Over here you have your stairs. And this is how they connect, just to some brackets. All right, again, some rusting going on there. This is the motor for your steps. Okay, this is your line for your brakes right here, going all the way to the rear. Likely for your, tied to your handbrake probably as well. And underneath here you can see how this tire carrier is set up. It plugs into that right there. And on the other side over there. And these are recovery hooks that are supposed to be some high in the thousands, 5,000, maybe even 7,000. Let's see if it says on here. No, it doesn't really say that. But I think I was watching on a video somewhere, somebody said something about in the 5,000s or 7,000s. Do not quote me, just letting you know what I think I heard on that. So, little hole right there in that. Hopefully that doesn't really affect anything. All right, so that is it. Hopefully that was helpful to somebody. It took me quite a little bit of work to crawl underneath there on a hot day, but hopefully this video actually helps somebody who's looking for something. I like to make these kind of wild videos where it's just like very obscure things that maybe even just one person out there appreciates, and I'm fine with that, because sometimes you're looking for something that is so ridiculous that you're like, there's no way it's on the internet. Well, that's what this is about. Peace.